0, 1. Let's get started.
Why they stopping me?
Bye, crypto bro.
What's going on, crypto peeps? It's that guy again, Ball Deep Crypto, coming at you with another one of your favorites. I know it's mine, Stellar XLM, and what they're doing over in Asia as it relates to the East Asia market and Velo. Let's dive into it, see what we got. As you guys know, Stellar is trying to bank the unbanked. That's kind of their mission out there, amongst other things, besides cross-border payments, stable coins, and RWAs. East Asia is a broad and vast market with high remittance volumes, growing digital asset adoption, and institutional interest in blockchain for financial inclusion. Now, some of their partnerships and integrations for industrial adoption. Market Nodes Gateway integrated Stellar support targeting the Asian Pacific, the APAC region, where 9 out of 10 institutional investors are exploring digital assets. This enables tokenization and distribution of RWAs like funds, credit, and structured products for financial institutions. This expands Stellar's reach in the APAC markets. So as you can see, that's kind of where they're at with Market Node. That's something that's new along the way, so broadening their reach. What Stellar has done in the past is they were part of Singapore and the 2049 Singapore. That was in September of 2024. Obviously hosted an event. Lots of people were there, Chainlink, Fireblock, Solana. Focusing on what we just said, getting their reach out there on what they're doing with RWAs, PayFi, etc. Stellar's network also supports stablecoin and payment rails expansion. Obviously, that's what they're trying to do. That's what they use MoneyGram for, as they say here. You know, they've got effective remittances with ramps covering 170 countries, 450,000 locations, just with MoneyGram alone. In Asia, they're particularly relevant for their volatile economies, enabling low-cost transfers. The Stellar SDP disbursement platform and wallets like Decaf facilitate stablecoin off-ramping, which right now is roughly about $200K in USD weekly, supporting local transactions in emerging Asian markets. Etherfuse also provides tokenized bonds for yield generation, appealing to Asian users seeking the stable value stores. So they're offering yields, wallets that offer that, stablecoin, looking at getting their hands in a little bit of everybody's pocket. You know, that's pretty much what they're all doing out here. Now, the broader ecosystem support would be the SDF's Anchor platform, updated in 2023 and beyond. It simplifies integrations for Asian fintechs, enabling deposit withdrawal services and on-off ramps in 160 countries, including Asia. This has supported partners like Cato Money for global ramps, reducing friction for Asian users. So there you go. It also is invested in Archax to boost tokenization and directly benefiting APAC through enhanced RWA capabilities. Very exciting. Very exciting. As you know, Sorbonne comes out. So what they're looking at doing is with the Protocol 23 upgrade, I believe they're somewhere around 240 to 270 million in RWAs currently, and they want to get that number up to $5 billion by the end of 2025. I mean, that's quite a jump in a little bit of time, but I guess anything is possible once the upgrade comes and people start seeing the utility and the enhancement that Sorbonne can do for the price it can do, like I said, and the big dogs on the porch, stacked up against Ethereum, I think a superior product, but we shall see. I'm one man. I'm only an opinion. Again, this is not financial advice. It's just me yapping. Hopefully you're listening. If not, enjoy the screen, I guess, and the reading. I don't know what else to say. Anchor, Stellar will use in Asia. Let's talk about some of them. Obviously, we just talked about MoneyGram, so we know who they are. We know what they do. Cato Money is a Web3 onboarding provider supporting USDC on Stellar, offering ramps in 160 countries, including key Asian markets like the Philippines, India, and Southeast Asia. It leverages the Anchor platform for deposit withdrawal services, making it ideal for unbanked users, which is obviously what Stellar wants. They want to bank the unbanked or the underbanked. It's a key demographic that they're going after. I believe it's a $5 trillion a year industry that's untapped. Just potential sitting there for somebody to come in and capitalize on it. Everybody's got a phone these days. I read somewhere they said there's like 8.5 billion people in the world, and 7.5 billion people have access to a smartphone. As soon as Starlink's up, I mean, everybody's going to have access to the internet. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, put the pieces together. We'll go down here, talk about Whitebit, a crypto exchange anchor partnered with MoneyGram for off-ramps in Ukraine, but its global focus includes Asian users. It supports Stellar for fiat digital conversions, potentially expanding in APAC via SDF's ecosystem tools. We've got ARF, the meta anchor, acts as a meta anchor for cross-border transfers along multiple institutions, powered by Stellar. Again, it seems like a lot of, if you don't know now, a lot of things run on Stellar. Very fast, very efficient, very cheap product. While not Asian-specific, it enables scalable partnerships in high-volume Asian remittance markets like the Philippines and India. Prospective and emerging anchors. SDF's anchor directory and platform encourages new integrations with 2025 goals, including $3 billion, it was $3 billion, not 5, in RWA tokenized assets on Stellar via partners like Paxios, Ondo, Etherfuse, and SG Forge. Some big players right there. In Asia, this could involve regional banks exchanges, Singapore, Japan, adopting the platform for RWA issuance. The interactive anchor network map shows geo coverage in Asia, but specific new anchors are not named. So there we go. Looking at it, seeing where they're at. Now here it is. We're going to talk about potential key markets in Asia. It says here that Asia represents a high potential region for Stellar due to 700 billion plus annual remittances, 1.7 billion plus unbanked and underbanked population. Think about that. And rapid digital asset growth. 90% of APAC institutions exploring tokens. Stellar targets markets with high friction and traditional finance, aiming for $3 billion in on-chain RWAs by the end of 2025, a 10x increase from the $290 million in 2024. Potential includes cost reductions from 6 to 7% on fees to less than 1%, faster settlement, seconds versus days, and inclusion via mobile wallets. Again, like I said, everybody has a cell phone nowadays. It's just the way it is. Most of the kids don't have cash. Most of the kids don't even pay with their card. They tap their phone. It's just the way it goes. It's the way of the times. Everybody does everything on their phone. Pay, bank, live, death scroll, doom scroll, whatever you want to call it. It's all done on the phone. So we got the Philippines here. It's a top remittance receipt, $38 billion annually, and 10% of this GDP in remittances. Goodness gracious. Stellar's MoneyGram ramps enable low-cost USDC transfers for OFWs, overseas Filipino workers, with anchors like Cato supporting PHP conversion, so converting it into the local currency. Potential, expand microfinance and aid distribution, and reducing poverty via SDV. So by getting the money where it needs to get to from the people who want to send it back home, less fees, mean more money in that person's pocket or out of the person's pocket that's sending it, so they can send more money back home and help their family, whatever it may be. It's a win-win for everybody. You've got India, high unbanked population, 190 million plus, and a volatile rupee. I talked about this before, how they want to make the USDC or some kind of a US stablecoin the premier dollar, because you can take an unstable local currency, put it into a more a more secure asset, you would think, like the USDC, which is backed by the dollar, is more quote unquote stable. So it will hold its value as opposed to a local currency that goes up. So when the rupee goes down or when it goes up, or it's you can buy it back cheap for more bang for your buck if you hold it in something that's more stable. Who knows? That's the goal. That's what they're wanting to do. Now, the focus is on stable coins for savings. Like I said, remittances, 100+ billion in inflows. Anchors can tokenize local assets. Potential for DeFi yield via Ether-based like tools. Global ramps cover India, targeting fintech hubs like Bangalore. Sorry if I mess that up, people. Now we're also going to talk about Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Indonesia, Thailand. Now these are emerging digital economies with 300 million plus unbanked. High mobile penetration enables wallet-based services. Again, we keep going to this. Phone, 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 phone. Everybody's got a phone. Events like Tokyo 2049 highlight as PayFi for e-commerce and cross-border trade. It's a potential 50 billion plus remittance markets and anchors for stablecoin adoption amid inflation. Again, you can see the key here. Inflation, stablecoins. Stabilize your holdings. Let your dollar and your worth hold its value until you're ready to convert it into the local currency. Save money on transferring. Do everything with the phone. You don't need to go to the bank. This is the future. Asian Pacific institutional markets, Singapore, Japan, and South Korea, 90% institutional interest in digital assets, so they are interested. I believe they're laying down the groundwork for it, which we'll get into here in a second. Market nodes integration targets RWA tokenization, e.g. bonds and funds for banks, and its potential 3 billion RWA goals include APAC partnerships like RChax boost liquidity for tokenized treasury. They've already tokenized 400 million plus on Stellar. With stablecoins at 250 billion globally, Asia's share, e.g. via USDC, could drive 4x TVL growth. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Key opportunities are humanitarian aid via the Mercy Corps extensions, payroll funding for startups, e.g. Trace, Finance Mobile. And speaking on that, SHX was just over in Japan, and they just launched SHX Japan. I don't know if you guys saw that or know about that, but obviously SHX is part of NACHA, ACH. They want to specialize in payroll, and this is another way that I think that they're out there, maybe potentially got their hooks over in the Asian market, trying to get a hold of that payroll market as well. I believe they dabble in healthcare and receipts of that and bill of ladings. So they run on Stellar, a lot of potential here, not just Velo, but it seems like, with Stronghold Japan, they're in the Eastern Asian market as well. Here we go. Shout out to SHX, Stronghold. We're running on Stellar. As we can see here, sorry about the try to get done with that. Overall, Stellar's Asian strategy emphasizes utility growth, with anchors enabling 11% year-over-year asset transaction volume increase. So there we go. Looks good. Now here I talk about Stellar's growth and their potential here, as you guys already know. What they do, who they are, their remittances, who they are. But let's see how they use Stellar. Velo protocol is fundamentally built on and integrated with the Stellar blockchain, utilizing its settlement layer for a federated credit exchange network. It allows them to issue digital credits and enable seamless, borderless asset transfers for businesses and users. So here's what they're talking about. Here's their wallet on the consensus protocol. Velo's Warp Bridge supports Stellar at launch, enables users to move assets between Stellar and other networks like Binance Smart Chain. This facilitates interoperability, allowing Velo to connect traditional finance rails with blockchains for remittances and payments. They've also used the Quantum Remittance Network, its lightning speed remittance solution. Quantum uses Stellar to connect trusted partners, IG, financial institutions, for global transfers with lower fees and broader coverage, directly tying into Stellar's anchor model for fiat on and off ramps. Stablecoin and RWA tokenization and integration. Through partnerships like Paxios, which we've talked about before, Velo, in my other Velo video, uses Stellar to settle USDL transactions, providing stable value storage and amid regional currency volatility. It also tokenizes assets like BlackRock's Buddle fund on Stellar, enhancing liquidity for Asian users. Now, as we said above, you heard Ondo. Now you've got BlackRock with Buddle. They're all the same. They all kind of like work hand in hand. So you've got BlackRock in here. That's a player. You've got settling of USDL for market volatility between the two regions, South America, East Asia. Velo's got their hand in a little bit of everything. It's obviously something that I'm very interested in. They're also looking at tokenizing assets. So I wanted to ask, how does Velo's stablecoin fit in? So we don't want to go to there. We want to go down here. All right. We're going to go back to Stellar here for a second. Apologize. Like I said, I don't edit. I don't talk about it. I kind of was all over on my choppiness here. But we still want to talk a little bit more about East Asia and what they're doing, obviously. We've already talked about MoneyGram. Now we've got the East Asia connection. So I wanted to kind of dig in here a little bit and see, get a little more technical on what we're looking at. So you've got MoneyGram, obviously 450,000 locations worldwide. Getting fees down to 1%, less than 1% as a traditional 6 or 7, which we already talked about it. So we're going to talk about South Korea. MoneyGram is integrated with local exchanges like GoPax and supports remittances via Korean banks. SDF's 2008 partnerships aim to issue KRW anchored assets, but no dedicated Korean anchor materialized due to regulatory hurdles from the Financial Services Commission. So they've already started the process, and it looks like they're like the U.S. They're going through their regulatory framework right now to kind of set everything up, and that seems to be a lot of what's happening in Japan right now. That doesn't mean that they're not going to use Stellar. Stellar's over there prepping for when they are ready to go, and I think it's big on them and to have the foresight to get over there and take care of it and get everything set up, kind of like Amazon did back in the day. They didn't do much, but they had all the rails set up, so when they did flip the switch, they were ready to go. Limited direct operations. MoneyGram uses Stellar yen-denominated transfers via international partners. Then you've got Circle here, talking about who they do. The Circle partners with local exchanges, Upbit, for USD trading, supports Stellar-based remittances. You've got China. USD is accessible. USDC is acceptable in Hong Kong via licensed platforms like OSL, but mainland China prohibits it. Obviously, they're in, they're out. They're in, they're out over in China on this crypto thing. Who knows exactly where they'll set on. So we're going to go to prospective and emerging anchors in East Asia. As we said before, the 2018, they announced plans for a Korean anchor to issue KRW asset via partnerships with remittance firms and exchanges like GoPax and Coin1. As of 2025, this is not fully launched due to the Virtual Asset User Protection Act, but SDF's Asia strategy includes ongoing pilots for stablecoin ramps. GoPax historically traded XLM KRW pairs, serving as an informal bridge. So it sounds to me like they've got sandboxes going on. Don't know. I'd have to look into that a little bit more. Maybe somebody can drop one in the comment. But sandboxes are typically, if you don't know what they are, I did another video on them. They're basically pilot programs that they use, kind of run in a back channel to make sure that everything's good. So if they decided to go it, it's kind of like a test program. It's kind of like what Bank of America did with XRP. They ran it internally for every transaction they did for 3 years. But they weren't using it technically. They just wanted to see if they could use it and how the technology worked. And then they went out and put a bunch of, Anyways, no specific anchors for Japan. SDF's anchor platform is used by Japanese fintechs for testing. There we go, sandbox. But regulatory approval from the FSA is pending. Market nodes 2025 integration targets for APAC institutions, potentially including Japanese markets for RWA issuance. So they're trying to get over there and get in the RWA field, amongst other things. Like I said, Stronghold Japan's opened up over there just recently, which is kind of throwing the green flag up, saying, hey, we're over here. This might happen. This is potentially happening. Now, we've also got China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. Now, crypto regulations in China block direct anchors. Hong Kong's SFC licensed platforms, Hashkey, support Stellar indirectly for HKD to USD transfers. In Taiwan, fintechs like Cato Money, which we talked about previously, could expand, but no dedicated anchor exists. SDF's anchor platform docs and Stellar.com noting compliance challenges. So, again, it seems to be East Asia is running into these compliance issues where they're trying to figure out the language, kind of like the U.S. still, really. I think everybody's trying to still figure out the languages, but when it comes and everybody gets the legal clarity and everything else and it all comes together, it's good that Stellar, in my opinion, is over there laying the groundwork, putting the plumbing in, getting the relationships for when they do flip the switch, it goes. No anchors or integrations in Mongolia. Stellar's focus is on remittance via global partners like MoneyGram, but Mongolia's low digital finance adoption limits development. Now here's some of the challenges and potential in East Asia. East Asia's strict rules hinder anchor adoption. SDF's anchor platform simplifies integrations, but local compliance, KYC, AML, which I like. Personally, I know a lot of people don't, via SEP12 is required. So good, let's get it going, you know? You know your customer. You should be able to get your money back. Don't let these people freaking steal from you. Fuck them. Sorry, screw them. All right, SDF targets of growth potential is $3 billion in RWAs by 2025, with East Asia's $700 billion plus remittance market as a focus. So there we go. Primary growth in Southeast Asia is there. It is potentially there. So let's go down here. I already talked about this. Yeah, it was a bunch of the same old. So. Okay, now let's talk about Velo's USDV stablecoin. For any of you that don't know, obviously a lot of you did, and it kind of affected the price of Velo once all of a sudden they came out with, what was it, like 10 or 15 billion coins that they dropped unexpectedly. Most people believe that it's because of their USDV and how they want to use it. Now, I don't know if that's true or what it's potentially for. I don't have any insider knowledge. I'm a nobody. But just to give you an idea what USDV is and what they plan to do with it. The USDV is a fiat-pegged, yield-bearing stablecoin developed by Velo Labs. It serves as the primary store of value and unit of transfer within the Velo ecosystem. It is backed by high-quality reserves, including tokenized U.S. Treasury bills, e.g., BlackRock's Buttle Fund and Open Eden's T-bill. Short-term U.S. Treasury securities and cash equivalents ensure stability while offering yield to holders. Now, this is what and why the U.S. government wants to have stable coins, because nobody's buying the Treasury bonds. Potentially, you've got trillions and trillions of dollars that are going to be held back. And honestly, everybody's like, oh, I actually like this, because if you look at fiat now, what is it backed by? It's not gold. It's not silver. It's backed by paper. So you've got paper backed by paper that they can print endlessly. What? So who bails it out when there's nothing there to protect it because it's just paper? The U.S. taxpayer has to create more debt and pay it. Now, if you buy stable coins, then you buy treasury bonds, you get, you know, a percentage of that with the increase. Well, I think potentially it's all. I mean, I believe in silver the most, but I believe it should be hard assets, gold, silver, and treasury bonds. So that's what I feel. I actually like it. You know, they can actually show, hey, you know, we've got X amount of dollars and this amount of savings to actually prove what it is. You can't just print endlessly. Again, I digress. Now, the goal of the USDV is to facilitate seamless, stable value transfers in volatile markets, promote financial inclusion, and bridge traditional finance with blockchain by enabling digital credit issuance and multi-asset trading. So it's diverse, you know. Its purpose extends to replacing legacy payment rails, SWIFT, with a decentralized, transparent settlement network, reducing fees by up to 90% and enabling instant cross-border flows. USDV plays a pivotal role in Stellar's ecosystem by enhancing its RWA tokenization and stablecoin ecosystem, contributing to Stellar's $3 billion RWA target by 2025 through yield-bearing assets like tokenized treasuries. On Stellar, USDV supports efficient settlements for Velo's federated credit network, allowing businesses to issue digital credit backed by real-world fiat and settle them in seconds. So there we go. This integration amplifies Stellar's utility in Asia, where Velo originated, by providing compliant, scalable on-off ramps via Stellar anchors. So in East Asia, USDV drives Velo's expansion into markets like China, where Velo has entered to open a second curve of growth, focusing on cross-border payments and digital finance amid the region's 700 billion plus remittance inflows and institutional token interests. Wow, that's a lot of money. While Velo's core operations are in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, its push into China leverages USDV for stable value storage in volatile economies, aligning with Stellar's limited but growing presence via global anchors like MoneyGram for KRW, JPY, HKD conversions, which we talked about above. All they're waiting on is clarity from those companies or those countries. It's coming, people. It's coming. Not financial advice. I make $20 an hour. I'm a nobody. But it's coming. It's all coming. Stuff like this takes a little bit of time. You're that early. Trust the process. Believe in yourself. Don't let these people shake you out. Know what you hold it, and know that you're going to be okay. Okay. Analysts forecast Velo reaching 2 cents to 3 cents by 2030. Wow. Such a big increase, with 80% ROI potential driven by RWA integrations and Asia's Web3 boom. Beyond Asia, USDV is central to Velo's global ambitions, with primary expansion in Southeast Asia for remittances and last-mile agents processing billions in volume. Velo is also extending to broader Asia Pacific and beyond, including partnerships for multi-chain interoperability, along with Solana for Ranger Finance and scroll ties to Tierra. Didn't know that. So this is actually my first time reading it, you know what I mean? But you actually, USDV as a settlement asset for stablecoin issues worldwide, with potential in emerging markets like Latin America, which we know that with Paxios, or Africa via Stellar Networks effects. There we are. As you can see, it positions Velo for sustained growth by bolstering reserve quality, Paxios, USDL, BlackRock Bundle, Open Eden, T-Bill, increasing ecosystem TVL up to 59.68% in quarter 3 of 2024, and driving Velo through utility, through staking, governance, and fees. Potential 4x TVL growth and mainstream RWA adoption could make it boom. Just needs time. So there we are. That's a little bit about Stellar, East Asia markets, RWA tokenization and growth, Velo, and Velo's USDV and potential in all of those markets as well. Tokenized assets, stable coins. This is it. This is the future. I hope you enjoyed this video. A lot of rambling, a lot of bumbling. Like I said, I do proofread it a little bit, but I kind of just go on the cuff. I don't do any editing. I just want to get the information out to you. Hopefully you listen to it. Hopefully you got something from it. If you did, great. If you didn't, hopefully my next video will give you what you're looking for. I try to do my best. I'm just a simple person, just trying to put this puzzle together just like you. Anyways, have a great day. Have a blessed week. And like I always say, chase a check, never chase a bit.